make a strategy that trains the opening range breakout, right? Do the analysis every day. And then you basically, instead of writing Python code to do that, right? Where it's like, if this, then that, if this, and that, instead, you let the agent figure that out on its own, right? It can basically make its own decisions and say, should I buy this? Should I buy that? And it does its own analysis and then actually places the trade on its own, right? So we've done it as an AI trading team, but we've never done like AI trading as we'll say AI trading to execute um, specific strategies. So, for example, you know, like anything that we would normally do, right? Like trade orb strategies or trade you know, condors or trade, whatever the typical thing that people trade or moving averages, right? But basically, instead of making it with code, we would make it with an AI trading prompt, right? And the reason why this matters, strategies, there you go. The reason why that matters is because I think that if we were to do that through AI, we could make it like 100 times easier to make a strategy, right? So instead of you're building a strategy, you have to get all the Python code right and all this stuff has to work. Instead, you let the AI reason about it and kind of figure it out on its own, right? So if I want to make a strategy that trades iron condors, instead of like spending all this time making code and making sure it's perfect and whatever, I just give instructions to the AI and say, do this every day, right? It'll go off and figure out all this stuff on its own and figure out, what is the right delta and what is this, what is that. It will do all that analysis on its own and then just place that like moving average or condor trade, for example, right? So it's like a new way of building strategies, right? Because, what I've been thinking about a lot is it's really hard to build strategies. I think this would make it a lot easier to build strategies, right? So instead of writing code and executes code, it's instead talking to the AI on a daily basis and actually executing that, right? So I think that'd be very interesting. Does that make sense to you guys, by the way? Or does that sound interesting in any way?
Yeah, it sounds interesting. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right, so is that we could also work on a Twitter trading bot. It's become a lot easier to build something like that, and I think there's a lot of interesting stuff there. We could work on prediction markets like Polymarket and Kalshi. We actually got pretty far with that last week. This is another thing that's really hot right now. Like, you know what I've been learning? I learned this crazy fact the other day. What was it? It was one of these brokers. I think it was Robinhood or Schwab or something like that. They're making more money from these prediction markets than they are from their stock or options trading. Can you believe that?
That's cool.
It's amazing.
I
That's
think,
crazy, no?
yeah, 'cause I mean, like, because they're betting on so much stuff, especially like
Hmm.
world events and stuff.
Hmm.
And, I mean, yeah, your 50-50 chance is, is pretty good if you make a good white choice. But I can believe that because people on 14 events, everything, news events, all that betting, I can see that.
Yeah,
Wonder.
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I wonder how many folks out there have got a AI agent that is they feed the daily racing form on a race into the research, and then they have the agent go in and then analyze down into comparisons horse by horse and comparison and can spit out a predicted winner. And I wonder how they do. I bet somebody's doing that for sure.
So I could actually tell you a story about this. This was actually back in the day. I think this was in the 80s or the 90s when computers were kind of just becoming a thing. There was a guy who would do horse betting. right? And he was the first person ever that used computer models to do horse betting, right? And he actually did some pretty interesting stuff. It was like he just got a slight edge, kind of figuring out, what horses are going to be better, whatever. But he also made a lot of bets. Like the computer would place like 1,000 bets a day, kind of thing, right? Like no human's going to do that, right? Um, and these guys, I think it was over the course of 3 years, they made $1 billion doing this back in the 90s, if you could believe it, for horse racing specifically, right?
Amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, goes to show, that there's an edge you could get here with AI, right? And I think that's very interesting. I mean, horse betting is one thing, right? Horse betting that's kind of hard to predict, right? But I mean, Poly Market has everything. It's got sports, right? It had the World Cup. It has political events that are happening. It has, when is ChatGPT 6 coming out? You know what I mean? Like you could bet on anything, right? You could bet on if your neighbor's moving next week. You know what I mean? Like there's like anything you could bet on, right? And the thing is that like if you could use AI to help you get an edge, and then especially if you have some sort of insight yourself, right? Maybe you work in the field, maybe I wouldn't, insider trading is not illegal when it comes to these things. They are starting to arrest people in certain situations, like for example, there's like a military captain or something that bet on Poly Market that they're
Let,
going to invade Iran or
let's
something,
just
and
let's just say the truth. Insider trade is not illegal for government officials.
then
Okay, let's just keep
well,
it at that.
this is even further than that. Yes, and that I agree with. Yes, absolutely. That's why Nancy Pelosi is doing so well and all the other ones.
Yeah,
Um, that I fully agree with. But this goes even further. You don't have to be a politician, right? You could just have an edge of some sort, right? And it's not technically insider trading. There are no laws around this yet. Okay? They probably will add laws and we could argue whether that's a good idea or not. I'm not even sure that's a good idea. But right now, there is no insider trading around it. So if you have some sort of insight, you work in the field, you know someone at the company, you know someone's doing this, and on top of that, you help AI figure out what to bet on, I bet you can make a ton of money. You know what I mean?
Robert, did you hear the story that they I don't know, laid off or removed the speed or the what do you call it, the thing the speech goes on for Trump, the teleprompter. They removed the teleprompter operator because he was going on
I
one
did
of
hear this.
the signs, and he knew what the speech would be about.